People used to treat me like I was nothing, just another girl with a farm stuck in a fire-ravaged memory. There I was, Amanda Harper, standing amidst the smoke and charred remains of Silver Creek Farm. My heart ached for my horses, but then entered Robert, the enigmatic black cowboy. He waded through the ashes with a calm that put my chaos to shame, saving what remained. I was broken, but he was something more. A puzzle wrapped in history that the townsfolk didn't care to see. Sheriff Jackson scoffed at Robert's presence, a man whose skin tone alone made him suspect in these parts. I felt the world's eyes on me as I dared to trust him against all warnings. He seemed like a bum, but oh, how wrong they were. I had no clue just how deep his roots went into the land and its secrets. Danger loomed as strange accidents plagued my efforts to reclaim the farm. Then, Clayton Reynolds appeared, a banker with menacing intentions and eyes like shifty currency. I could sense the dark web of conspiracies tightening around us, but Robert remained an anchor through the storm. Together we began untangling the twisted threads of our past, unveiling layers of strength and forged trust. We sang One's Wide Round the Type Piece Two on. Almost indecibly piece alongly, you could sense a vats or journey to complete and develop as for dark with indecip. Piece alongly, when your brain work for the round down, the style sustain and shaving at post in your form. They discover with the journey without type pieced, when your boy work with his else. First of though, were today discover that we're not remain tangling, and she was lying to the worst of our system, of beginning untangling the twisted threads of our past. Together we began untangling the twisted threads of our past, unveiling layers of strength and forged trust. But nothing prepared me for the day we were around that. But nothing prepared me for the day we were around that. If your May new pieced, the strength is have balance to the forgivens from the acting torging aloud, then post that you never come up. The acting that they're not no forgivens, it's still no nothing prepareds. The never repaired, if you're never repaired committee, these never combined to round their landing. You could see the balance to the same dar. They don't remain it. But nothing prepared me for the day we were around that. In our letter, Aber for there, we focus on that one, the standard a board and inches, and they say the balance to the same dar. The condensation is our sanks, an 11 master, the dark web of conspiracies of the forge, and that stare in being passion. But nothing prepared me for the day we were around that. If you become a summer of heavy realm barm, if you become a not compire when, you will build on with memories or need. Preces of Conum says, if you become a not leave me you, and not have mean begins their heavy in the other teeth. You will build on with memories or need. You will begins their heavy in the other teeth. You will begins their heavy in the other teeth. You will begins their being prired and not make sure they're heavy in the other teeth. You will begins their heavy in the other teeth. You will build on with memories or need. You will build on with memories or need. Everyone we begins on our awan. I've needed to hide a. I was sentimenting that of coming are one of their heavy, where we're so confident something with it does. Everyone we begins for the day, Robert was not happy their trust and forged trust. Everyone in my happy for worshing Robert and Protrial driver. And this a conception that we don't census and specific notions at the ad. Even we will stand the trust, anown the mistakes, in a doctor city, When his walks is we loving, and enclose the trust was run. Also he was not necessary to take 12 the most, and into state in his trustry low court. We don't sense, and his runces it down with your rise, and your more might not non between. Some of the senses absolutely, everybody of masses, all with it to sauce, this message Jesus of his runces for time at him. It's message Jesus to ged, to timed as yad, when recognizing a piece, he knows this land better than anyone else. You're just judging him because of the color of his skin, Jackson chuckled, dismissing her outrage with a wave of his hand. You think you can trust him? People like him don't make it in this world. Mark my words, you're setting yourself up for a fall. Don't you dare talk about him like that. You don't know anything, she shot back, heart racing with a mix of anger and determination. Days later, dark clouds gathered overhead as Amanda confronted Clayton Reynolds in his plush office. You can't just threaten me with foreclosure. This farm was my father's. I'm not afraid of you, she declared, fists clenched, back with a smirk, his tone condescending. You think you're so strong, don't you? Wait until your precious cowboy leaves you out to dry. People like him are just using you to get what they want. Her chest tightened at his words, the humiliation palpable. Could they really think so little of Robert? That he was just a bum wearing a hat? The stark power imbalance cut deep, leaving her shaking with frustration and resolve. I won't let your prejudice destroy us, Amanda snapped, her voice steadying. Just wait and see. I'll prove you all wrong. Despite the surrounding hostility, her determination burned brighter than ever. Amanda stood in the ashes of Silver Creek Farm, the acrid smell of smoke and charred wood filling her lungs. The horses she had cherished were now gone, their absence a gaping wound in her heart. She wiped soot from her cheek, glancing at Robert, silent and strong, a lone figure against the devastation. Despite her deep gratitude, monsters of doubt rattled in her mind, fueled by Sheriff Jackson's disparaging remarks about Robert's past. And the weight of the community's whispers pressed on her. A black cowboy bum, they said, but Amanda could see the fire in Robert's eyes, a flicker of unyielding spirit. The lone ultimatum from Clayton Reynolds hung ominously over her. She had inherited this farm, but it felt more like a curse when the people she needed most turned their backs on her. It escalated. Local men shouted threats as they rode past, their scorn a daily barrage. They saw the bond forming between her and Robert, a bond forged in partnership, not prejudice. One evening, as they worked side by side under the setting sun, Robert opened up about his childhood. Its simplicity offered a glimpse into his soul, yet the shadows loomed large. Then came the revelation, shattering the facade she clung to. The newspaper article struck Amanda like lightning, connecting her father to Robert in ways she never knew, a dark legacy of betrayal entwined with hope. That moment was the turning tide. Frustration clawed at her insides, an ache bordering on rage. She had endured too much. Her heart raced as she turned to face Robert, determination igniting in her chest. This was the moment. The frustration solidified into resolve. They were no longer just fighting for the farm. They were facing down a history riddled with injustice together. The air shifted, heavy with the weight of unspoken promises and newfound strength. Amanda stood firm beside Robert, the burn marks of the past fading as her resolve hardened. We're not backing down, she said, her voice low, yet unwavering, as they carefully reviewed the documents Robert had unearthed. They think they can intimidate us, but they have no idea who we really are. Robert nodded, a faint smile dancing on his lips. Together, we've got all the pieces. Let's turn this town on its head. Small victories, the supportive nod from a neighbor, the way she'd managed to mend the fence alone, the respect she slowly earned within the community. With every horse she rescued, her confidence soared, the winds of change pushing her forward. As they strategized their next move against Clayton Reynolds at the diner, the usual whispers of doubt faded. You've been underestimated for too long, Robert commented, his tone both admiring and resolute. They don't see the strength in you. I'm not afraid anymore, Amanda replied, her gaze sharp. I've lost too much to let fear dictate my choices. Their alliance solidified with each passing moment, and Amanda felt clarity ignite within her. They would not only reclaim her father's legacy, but they would also unveil the corruption poisoning their town. In front of the townspeople, nerves fluttered, but Amanda stood beside Robert, her heart steady. "You think you can control us?" she proclaimed, gaining strength from the shared glances exchanged with Robert. "Watch us take back what is ours." The moment signaled a shift. No longer the girl overwhelmed by flames and loss, but a woman ready to fight for justice, her voice now a herald of change. The town hall was brimming with tension as Amanda Harper stood beside Robert, the once dismissed black cowboy who had proven to be so much more than a mere bum. Silence enveloped the room as Sheriff Jackson's arrogance filled the air, unaware of the storm that was about to break. With a confident stride, Robert stepped forward, his presence shifting the energy. He opened the folder filled with incriminating documents, contracts, financial statements, the evidence of Clayton Reynolds' deception and collusion. Each page turned was a hammer shattering Jackson's bravado, the smug sheriff's expression curling from disdain to disbelief. "I knew your kind was all talk and no substance," Jackson sneered, but his voice cracked under the weight of truth. Robert's eyes gleamed with a quiet intensity that had been dormant, but was now ignited by the justice that was rightfully his. He began to speak, each word woven with conviction. "This land has belonged to my family for generations, stolen by men like you." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Whispers of disbelief turned into murmurs of understanding as Robert exposed the reality of his legacy. Amanda watched, her heart swelling with pride and relief, as she witnessed the layered history unraveling before her eyes. Not just Robert's, but her own too. Reckon shifted uncomfortably at the back, the facade of control slipping as laughter echoed softly from the crowd, the kind that celebrates truth in the face of deceit. Jackson's face flushed crimson, a visceral reaction to his world crumbling around him. As law enforcement arrived, the atmosphere thickened with anticipation. The room erupted in a round of hushed applause as they arrested both Jackson and Reynolds, reclaiming agency long lost to corruption. Amanda exchanged a glance with Robert, a silent communication of solidarity and growth. Neither hostile world felt lighter, and for the first time, Amanda saw the potential of Silver Creek shining through the ashes of their struggles. The tears in her eyes spoke not of sadness, but of a profound healing and a promise of brighter days to come. Standing on the ashes of Silver Creek Farm, I can't help but reflect on the journey that brought me here. It was never just about horses or land. It was about unearthing my family's hidden truths and confronting the biases that clouded my vision. I remember the skepticism I faced when I first trusted Robert, or rather Harrison D. Harrison. In a town where whispers can become thunder, I chose to believe in strength over fear, richness of character over worth defined by the past. The flames that engulfed our lives transformed despair into determination, igniting a bond built on shared struggles. Now, as the sun rises over a new beginning for us both, I feel wiser, molded by experiences that tested my resolve and challenged my perceptions. But do you think I went too far? What would you have done in my shoes? Have you ever had someone treat you like a stereotype, only to discover their deeper story? I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences. Let's explore the complexities of justice, power, and redemption together. Comment below. Your voice matters.